What's up, guys? Back at you with another video. This time we're going to do a photo editing tutorial. You guys ever go on Instagram and you see those fire photos? They may have really defined features in them. You can see the sky looking real blue, colors are just looking way popped out, look to the real eye. But then you take a photo with your phone and it just doesn't look like that at all. You put a filter on it and it's still not looking fire. Well, let's get to Adobe Lightroom, and I'm going to teach you all some ways in which you can take your photo from looking like a regular photo like this to something fire like this. So let's get right to it, y'all. Alright guys, let's get started with this tutorial. So as you can see here, we have a pretty standard picture. Sky's up there. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, as you can see, the lighting's pretty messed up. He looks pretty dark here because of the way that the lighting is just way too dark. Even you can see on the railroad tracks, the trees look very dark. So first thing that I want to do is go to lens correction and correct some of this depth of field, some of the colors correct with this. It usually, if you shoot in the raw format, it'll usually recognize what lens you shot it with. So that's pretty useful. I don't recommend anybody to shoot in JPEG or PNG, whatever the fuck your camera does. Always shoot in raw. It's the most non-compressed way to shoot. So now that we enabled the profile corrections, next we're going to crop this out. So we're going to click on auto there. It'll auto straighten the photo, and then we're just going to go and stretch this out as much as possible. Go to aspect, and then I'll put it on 5x4 and drag it down just a little bit so that it fits your subject better. Now, this allows you to have a better crop for Instagram, which is what these pictures are going to be used for. Different aspect ratios work for different things. It just depends on what you want to use it on. This is personally just for Instagram for the homie Ross. So, let's hope that he enjoys it. So next we're going to go to our basic edits. Now, this is mainly to correct, all the lighting issues, some of the colors. So the useful thing about Lightroom is that in the tone here, so with the tone and the present settings actually, you have an option to automatically correct. Now what this is the program takes the photo, it recognizes everything that's going on here, and based on that, it'll make estimated correction of everything, right? Now, sometimes it's really accurate, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you want something different for the photo. So, for example, you may want a dark profile like this, where, you're just going to jack up the exposure just a tiny bit. Sometimes that's not what you want, so it just depends on what you're feeling or not feeling. So, personally here, I'm just going for a true to, color edit that shows off everything pretty well. So, what I'm just going to do is hit the auto and see what it does. So, as you can see, it just did its thing, right? So I'm going to put a key up on the screen. There's a key in your keyboard that you're going to see it. It's right above the enter button. You want to hit this key here. It's what I believe the backslash key. Yeah. And you can see it before and then after. You can see the huge difference that auto just made. Obviously, it's not perfect and we're going to tweak some things, but it's pretty damn near what you want for your specific picture. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to work with some of the colors a little bit here in the present, right? So it's a little bit hazy, so I'm going to dehaze this just a tiny bit, right? Not too much, so +5, I think I like that a little bit better. And then clarity is definitely going to go up. As you can see, it just defines stuff a little bit better. I'm not going to jack it up all that much. Probably to +10-ish right there. Now, vibrance is already up. It shows off a little bit of the color. The more I jack it off, as you can see, the more vibrant the colors are. We're going to keep it where it was. Right about here, saturation. That's what it does. Saturates the colors more or less, depending on what you want to do. I want more. I want these colors to really pop out. So we're going to go with +12 right there. Now we're going to work around a little bit here. Now, if you hit the J key on your keyboard, you're going to see especially these two squares being highlighted. Now what that does is it shows you where the image is clipping. So you see those little blue spots right there. They're very hard to see, but if you just focus on them a little bit, you'll be able to see it right here. Especially you see that blue spot right there. So that's where maybe our eyes aren't able to see a lot of what's going on in the photo. However, the program is able to recognize some of the spots where it's clipping. So as you can see, it's clipping some of the darker spots in the photo. His face is pretty good. It's not clipping anywhere there. Over here, it's clipping a little bit with the whites, but that's okay. We have a little bit of lens flare, so that's whatever. Okay, so now we know that, we're gonna jack up the blacks just a little bit and highlights just a tiny bit along with the whites. Contrast, I definitely wanted to go down. As you can see, the more that it goes, the darker that the image goes. So the program did a really good thing with, going less contrast up in the exposure. Overall, I think that this is pretty good, but we're going to keep going. So now we're going to go to a tone curve. Now in the tone curve, you can also fix some of the lighting issues. Of course, there's different things that you can do. This sector's for the shadows, and then you get into the darks, then you get into the lighting, and then you get into the highlights. So I want to down the highlights just a tiny bit, right about there. Light, I definitely want to jack that up a couple. As you can see, it just automatically made it brighter. Darks, we want to go a little bit brighter on that. I want this image to be very bright. Shadows, I definitely want to go down on the shadows, give it that, mysterious vibe, however, not too much. You can have different settings depending on how much contrast you have. Linear is usually the least amount of contrast, then you got medium contrast, and then you got strong contrast. Of course, I like the linear. I usually don't stick away from the linear. Next, we're going to get some color correction. So as you can see, these trees are supposed to be a little bit greener than they are. We're going to correct that real quick. So green, we're going to make it pop out just a tiny bit more with luminance and saturation. I usually don't like to mess with the hue all that much. Messes with the color, like, see that or that. So I usually like to keep that where it is. We're going to go to our oranges, make them a little bit darker right there. Just give that a little bit more depth. And that's about all the colors that I want to do. Now, detail is very important, right? Helps you sharpen the image, reduce some noise. It definitely does improve quality in my most humble opinion. So we're going to jack this up just a little bit. And a lot of this edits, like, guys, you want to mess around with them, see what you like, see what you don't. Young Ross looking beautiful right there. But it's a lot of playing around. You're not always going to get the most perfect edit. And it's all picture based, but as you can see here, I'm going to go to before. That's what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. It's a huge difference, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you want to see more. I have photos like these that need to be corrected, as you can see in the top left corner. So just let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more of these different techniques, if you want me to get into Photoshop to, for example, correct the sky over here because it is looking a little bit too white. However, I think that I can actually mess with that on here. Yep, there we go. So sometimes you can do a little bit with things like that. Of course, it's also messing with his shirt, which is something that I don't particularly like. But there's a way in Photoshop to isolate that so it's just the sky versus the shirt. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see more of these, if you want to see more landscape photos being edited, things of that nature, Photoshop being used for these. This was just a basic Lightroom tutorial. Let me know if you want to see more. If you want me to edit your photos too, we can do that. So yeah. Alright guys, those were a couple different ways that we made that photo look fire. As y'all saw, I had a couple different ones to work with. So if you guys want to see me turn in a really crappy photo, whether I messed up the lighting or I messed up something else, and take that from a 0 to hero type situation, just let me know what you want to see. Drop some comments down below. We're going to have some graphic design tutorials also coming up, so be on the lookout for that, and some marketing ones. Let us know what you want to see. Comments below. Leave a like. Subscribe. Catch you in the next one.